So I'm very optimistic. I'm very bullish about 2026, 27, 28. In my opinion, I think we're going to have what goes down must come up. What goes up must come down, right? We're in the up cycle of this. That's the blessing. We've seen about 3 years of the market coming down and really instability, inventory creasing up. Prices were somewhat consistent and moving up a little bit, but now we're seeing retraction. We're seeing retraction in Texas. We're seeing retraction in Florida. We're seeing these areas retracting because they were super inflated, right? COVID had a super inflation, and we kind of got through that. Now the market's been in somewhat of a retraction mode for the last 3 years. I'm very bullish on 2026. And I believe the rates now are below 7% for the first time in years. And we're looking at rates in 5.99 now. I saw rates in the 5.99s, right? So we went sub sevens, we're in the sixes, it kind of settled in, got a couple interest rate decreases from the feds. Now we're at 5.99. I believe we go to 5.5. I believe we go even close to 5, if not into the high fours in the next 12 months. That's my prediction. I've been wrong before. Chalk it up. Send me a nasty gram if you want to, but I believe we're heading into the real solid fives in interest rates. That's going to change the mentality of buyers and sellers. It's not going to get the seller off the fence that's got a 2.5% interest rate, but it's certainly going to get the buyers off the fence. And I believe it makes the sellers are in a position now where they can now move from their 3.5 or 4% rate and get a reasonable 5.5 or 5.75% rate and not have crazy amount of interest payments that are above what they're currently at. Okay. So that's my overall kind of, I always start with the kind of 5-minute market overview of what it is according to Coach Byrd, right? So now I'm going to go over 5 things. I really want you to write these things down today because I think they're relevant. I think they're important. If you write these 5 things down today, and it's not just all mindset and hoopla, but if you write these things down today and do an audit of your business, do an audit of what you're doing in your business, I think they will help you significantly. Okay. So in no particular order except my order I wrote them down in is number 1. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Many of you have heard that before, but really, what are you focusing on right now? Are you focusing on the news? Are you focusing on what's going on in Minnesota? Are you focusing on the federal government, Venezuela, the real estate market? What are you focusing on? Be honest with yourself. You don't have to answer me, but be honest with yourself and tell me what is the primary function of your day on your focus? Is your focus on your health, your wealth, your mental well-being, right? These are the things that are the building blocks to you being successful. Reading books or Audible, whatever your cup of tea is. For me, it's like we are 3 abreast in a 2-lane highway. That's Puerto Rico. That's awesome. Um, for me, it's Audible. I love Audible. I could listen to Audible working out. I could listen to Audible driving. I could listen to Audible. But there's nothing like picking up a good old-fashioned hardcover book and a highlighter and going through the book and highlighting things that are meaningful to you, tearing the corner off the pages. So I highlight so much that I start bending the ears of the page over. And then I bend over so many ears of the page, I start ripping the corners of the page off. But like, this page is amazing. So I rip the corner off, right? That's my style. For you, it's about what are you putting into your noggin right now? What are you putting into your head? And think about that for a minute. Because what's important is focusing on things that are going to get you to the destination you want to arrive at, whether it's production, transactional, whether it's income, whether it's in properties. Focus on in portfolio, whatever. For me, it's going to events. Events are the holy grail to my mindset. Every time I go to an event, I'm around high-minded people. Have you ever seen an event full of woe is me, broken down people? No, they're sitting in the back of the event. The people with the open mind are in the front row. They're learning, they're understanding, they're pouring into what's going on. And you're going to see a theme with this call today. But that's number 1 for me. So in my opinion, get to events. We got an amazing event I'll talk about a little bit more coming up in Cabo, coming up in March. That kind of event, 1,100 screaming, fanatical real estate people. And by the way, we've got the biggest lineup I've ever seen of coaches. Tom Ferry's leading with the number 1 coach in the world. I'm speaking. We've got, I think there's like 7 coaches speaking at this event. That is an event that it will take you to the next level mindset wise, as well as you're going to be around 1,000 other screaming fanatical people that want different things in the real estate business. So number 2, this is the theme for playoff time, right? It's football playoff time. And you've heard of playoffs. Practice is what makes a winning team win. A practicing team is what is winning in the Super Bowl playoffs and the drive to get to the Super Bowl right now. If you think about it, how many, and you can take off mute and answer this, how many minutes are in a football game? Anybody know right off the top of your head? How many minutes are in a football game? Come on.
60 minutes, right? 4 15-minute quarters.
Thank you very much. 60 minutes, 4 15-minute quarters. There's a reason things are broken into quarters, and there's a reason that's an infinite amount of time in that game being 60 minutes. How much do they practice every week to get to 60 minutes on the field? They practice countless hours, right? 6 8-hour practices prior to the big game coming up. 2 3 4 hard hours of practice. They go to the gym, they weight train, they practice. They're in coaches meetings, understanding the plays. They're practicing the plays. Have you ever seen the jet fighters that are closing their eyes and working through all the maneuvers, the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds? They're practicing exactly what they're going to accomplish in that 3-minute air show. They're practicing for hours. You're a professional. What are you doing to practice for your real estate business? Let that sink in for a minute. Many of us are winging it. We're not practicing. Can a pro football player wing it? No chance whatsoever. Matter of fact, you're dealing with microseconds of skill. When they're doing the combine and they're running the 40, if you look at the top 20 people, they're separated by a 10th or a 20th of a second. And they're practicing. Their life's long journey is to run that 40 as fast as they can, or whatever it is in their specialty within that particular position. You know, when you look at this practice component of what I'm talking about, give me some ideas of what practice is in the real estate space. You guys have been kind of quiet. Take your mute off. This is an interactive call. What is practice in your mind?
I would say dialogue.
Love it. Dialogue, objection handling, scripts and dialogue, right? What about writing contracts? Have you practiced writing contracts and given them to somebody else that you respect, that you look up to, that can give you ideas? Are you doing that? Are you practicing your objection handling? Are you practicing what you're going to say to your friends so you're not nervous, you don't feel like you're being salesy? Right? Practice is where the money is made. And so I want you to write down practice, circle it, and write down 1 or 2 things that you could do to take it up a notch in your business to practice being a professional. All right? And number 3, it along the lines with that, go for pro. Eric writes a beautiful book called Go for Pro. If you read that book, he's talking about how to up your game and being a professional, going for pro, asking the pro questions, handling the pro objections. Those 2 go together for me, but I think it's really, really important to think about that. It's game time. It's time to commit. The pros are winning and the amateurs are failing. Right now, if you're not getting the things in your real estate business that you think you're capable of, that you dream of, that you hope for, my challenge to you is you may not be acting as a pro. You might be acting and showing up as an amateur. Again, this is a coaching call. I'm punching you in the mouth a little bit. I apologize, kind of, sort of. But this is for you. This is not for me. You have to be ready, no matter what level you're at. I don't care if you have not closed your first transaction, you're looking for your first referral, you're looking for your first piece of business. It doesn't matter to me. We still have to practice to get to that position. A couple of people just left the call, by the way. Guess what? The people leaving the call right now are the ones that can't face the hard truth. You are here. You're committed. You're willing to face the hard truth. Some of you probably have an appointment in 10 minutes. You're like, hell, I ain't leaving now. There's no way I'm leaving now. I'm going to wait. Right? I'm going to blow that thing off 5 or 10 minutes. Because this is where pros are made. This is where the professionals rise and the amateurs are exposed. Don't be an amateur in this business. I'm begging you, don't be an amateur in this business. It is completely up to you what you do to change your trajectory in your real estate business. And I will help you. I will absolutely help you. I don't even care what company you're at, what team you're on, what organization, what brand. It doesn't matter to me. I will help you. We're here every single week to help you move the needle in your real estate journey, right? And then once you create stability in your business, in my world, it's about 12 transactions. Once you create stability, you got predictability in your real estate business. That is when you'll be able to start leveraging things like buyer's agents, assistants, and all the other components. All right. Bonus question. What's the very first hire in your real estate business as a solo agent? What's your very first hire as a solo agent in your real estate business? Anybody?
Are we talking about?
Anybody?
Are we talking about somebody to hire to help you?
Yes, we're talking about leverage in your business. What's your very first hire in your real estate business? What do you think it is?
I'd probably say either a transaction coordinator or an assistant to do cold calls and paperwork.
The answer, we've got one of them right. The transaction coordinator is kind of definitely a first entry into your business, but your first hire, your first person that you're going to bring onto your business is your assistant. Many agents believe it to be a buyer's agent, believe it to be a transaction coordinator that also handles parts of their business. When you start scaling, when you get to 12 transactions, an assistant will automatically double your business because you're leveraging non-dollar producing activities to someone else. A transaction coordinator, in my opinion, is a necessity. It's not even a hire. It's just your very first deal, you get a TC to handle that so you could do dollar producing activity. But thank you for the answer. You're absolutely half right, or you're all the way right with a bonus. So number four to me is important. I relate this to my golf game because whenever I golf, there's really four components of golfing. And I'm a big golfer, so I always look into sports when it comes to this. Football's another analogy. But in golf, you have driving, getting off the tee, and then you have your iron game, which is from middle of the way to the green. And then you have your chipping game, which is typically around the green. That short game is important. And then the fourth component's putting. Any one of those go out of whack, and your score is going to be impacted well more than the 25% that it complements your game on. If your driving is off and you're in the trees every time, good luck getting close to that hole to make par, right? Par is when the hole's scheduled to be made in four shots, and you get it in 4 shots. That's a par for your non-golfers. If you hit an amazing drive off the tee box and you're 300 yards down the fairway, and then you don't hit your iron very well, you're again out of bounds, same effect. You're still struggling to get to that green. If you have a great second shot off the tee, you make your next second shot, and then you have a little chip to make, and you chili dip it like I did the other day, meaning you hit it fat, you don't get any ball, and it goes like 3 or 4 feet, you got to do it again. That's not impactful to your golf game as well. And then finally, if you do all 3 of those perfect, and then you look like I did this week on the golf course, and you can't make a putt to save your life. Everything I putted, like 9 putts, were literally within, you could have put all of them inside of a dollar bill. They were that close. 0 of them went in. My score reflected that, and I got my pants beat off. It's because I didn't have all 4 elements of my game working. So the reason I come back to one thing, I want you working on one thing at a time. In my golf game, if I start working on my drives and my irons and my chipping and my putting, I'm not perfecting any of those because I'm doing too many things. I'm in too many kitchens at once. Everybody understand me with that, with what I'm talking about? I'm doing too many things at once. I want to focus on one thing. And for me, I focused on my iron game, and now my putting's suffering, but I'm not abandoning my iron game because I'm focused on one thing. If I can get my iron game working well enough, the odds of my putts being shorter are working for me. All right. So for you golfers, you understand. For your non-golfers, I've totally lost you probably. But I want you to commit to one thing in your real estate business. Is it lead generation? Is that what it is? Is that your one thing? Or is it perfecting your listing presentation and your buyer representation agreements? Is that one thing? Is it maybe your skill set around language of talking to your clients and finding out what is important to you? And have you ever tried interviewing your agent or your clients and saying, hey, I interviewed for your listing. I got it. I didn't get it, whatever. I'd like some real critical feedback of how I can be a better real estate broker, a better professional. Or practice on people in your office and say, I want you to be critiquing of me. I appreciate all the good things I do. I don't need to be stroked along here. I want you to pick out items that I can do better and I can be better in. That is when your game changes, right? So that one thing for me, it really depends on you individually. When I coach clients, I focus on the needs analysis to find out what is it they need the most. And you might want to write this down. This is just within number 4, SWOT, SWOT. It's called a SWOT analysis in your business. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Look at your particular real estate business and say, what are my strengths? What am I really, really good at? What are my known weaknesses? And it could be an unknown weakness that you might need other people to help you with. But what are the weaknesses in my business? What are the opportunities? Where do I possess strengths and things that might be valuable? And then what are the threats to my business? Now I'm talking about you personally, not Compass buying Realty and Coldwell Banker. That's a threat to the industry maybe that may affect you if you're with one of those brands and so on. But I'm talking about threats to your business. What are the threats to your business? Identifying these things are incredibly liberating when you do it, because you could focus on the one thing that's going to move the needle in those particular areas. So commit to the one thing and really craft that particular one thing in your business. And when you get to where you're at a level 8, 9, or even 10 in that area, then you've created a habit, you've created a system, and you can go to one of the other areas, just like my golf analogy. My irons, if I keep hitting my irons well, then I will focus on my putting, for instance. Or if my driver's off, I'll focus on that. And I'm going to keep doing the disciplines that help me get my irons in play and in a good place. All right? And then last, and then we'll open up for a few questions. Last is proximity is power. You see the theme today, right? We're talking mindset, but not just foo-foo mindset. We're talking about tactical things you can do in your real estate business. And I think this is critically important information for you at the beginning of 2026 to set you up for a big, big year. Proximity is power. I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to quietly answer it. Who are your 5 closest friends in your world? Personal, professional, whatever it is. Family, some people, some of their best friends are their cousins. I want you to think real quick. You could write it down if you want to quietly. But who are your 5 closest friends in your life you spend the most time with, that with the most? And if you show me who your 5 friends are, I will show you who you are. That gives me the goosebumps. If you show me who your friends are, I will show you who you are. Sometimes that's not good, right? If your friends are partying 3 or 4 times a week, if your friends are drinking excessively, if your friends are questionable, if your friends are bad human beings, if your friends are lacking in faith, lacking in belief, if your friends are, and I have friends that fit these categories, guys. I'm just being straight with you, but they're not in my 5 circle. Friends that have a friend that I love like a brother, but I cannot spend time with him more than twice a year. But he's my friend. I spend most of the time with, right? I am focused with people that are helping me get to my dreams, helping me get to my goals, checking off items on my vision board. Those are the friends I want to be with. Those are the friends that are important to me. It may sound callous, but listen, you will be the sum of your 5 friends. If you take a rotten piece of fruit and you put it in a bowl with 5 beautiful, vibrant pieces of fruit of any variety, that one rotten fruit will make the other 5 age and decay prematurely. Massively, matter of fact. Like taking it from a week to a day. It's massive. The same thing can happen to you. We are living beings. We have to focus and spend time on those that are aiding us in our journey to get to our goals. to get the things that are important to us. And you're worth it. I mean, what do I do this call for every week? It's because you're worth it. Whether there's one person on the call or 50, it doesn't matter. My message is the same. I care about you and you alone. I care about you winning. I don't recognize most people on this call. I don't know if you're in my business. I don't know if you're at my competitor. It doesn't matter to me. We're human beings. We need help and we need support and we need to hear these words of encouragement. We need to focus on the things that are valuable to us. So as we talk about this, are your friends matches for your vision, for your dreams, for your goals, for your commitments to yourself, right? We're 13 days into the new year. Do you realize that about 60% of all humans make New Year's resolutions and they're over by now? They're over 15 days in the new year. It's like 80%, 30 days in the new year. It's 98%, 60 days into the new year. They have abandoned what they committed to. Why is that? Because they're not focused on it. They're not looking at them every day. They're not writing it on their arm, not tattooing it on their arm. Right? If it was that important to you, if it was that big of a deal for you, you could commit to it and then find people around you that care about you. We talked about the 5 friends. This for a minute. What about if you said, hey, one of my 5 friends is Randy Byrd. One of my 5 friends is Brent Gove. One of my 5 friends is Tom Ferry. One of my 5 friends, fill in the blank. People that scare you. People that are like, holy moly, that freaking guy's intense. That, like, I'm afraid to tell him what my goals are. He's intense. What about, I mean, just think about it for a minute. What about, dream for a minute? What about if you took those 5 people and told them your dreams and said, I want help. I want you to hold me accountable to this stuff. Do you think your life would change? Right? I see a lot of heads nodding. Hell yes, your life would change. Because now you got people that care about you, that they're not going to let you fail. One of my favorite people on earth, I've watched her. She might be on this call right now. I can't see everybody. We got a good crowd. I've watched her party her ass off, excuse my language, for the last 3 or 4 years. She's a great producer. She's an amazing producer, but she is a social butterfly. And she reached out to me a week ago and said, Randy, I need your help. I want accountability. And it scares the crap out of me to ask you. I go, no problem. Here's what it looks like for me. You have to text me every single day, 5 days a week at 12 noon Pacific and say, I'm sitting my butt down and I'm getting in my chair and I'm doing 2 hours worth of prospecting. And then you have to text me at the end of the 2 hours and you have to tell me how many people you talked to, how many appointments you made, and give me accountability to that 2 hours. Guess what? She is absolutely crushing it. She's texting me an average of 2 to 3 appointments a day she's booking in 2 hours. And she's like, OMG, I needed this so bad. Guess what? This doesn't have to go on forever. She's lighting the fire under her own business that she's creating this momentum. I'm just helping her along through the accountability. And the other day, 2 days ago, she forgot to text me it was yesterday, Monday. She didn't text me. And at 12:12, I text her, hey, what are we doing? She goes, I'm so sorry. I'm on my way back. I will text you in 5 minutes. I'm on my way back. Guess what? I gave her accountability. I helped her hold to that standard, right? So some of the things that are going to keep you out of your flow state, alcohol, drugs, bad decisions, laziness, mean people, right? No God in their life, whatever it is for you, find a way to focus on people that are going to be helping you in your journey, helping you in your decision that hopefully you're making today after today's call, to write down what's important to you, focus on your 5 friends, and 2026 will be a different year for you. I guarantee you, I promise you that. I've got a couple of minutes for questions. If you want any clarity, anything you want to say, any ahs, and I appreciate you being here today. I really appreciate it. Get to events, focus on getting around people that think bigger than you, that scare you, that motivate you. And that's the final word for the day. I'll take any questions and then we'll wrap up in a couple minutes. Any ahas, any questions?
I'm good. Thanks for your time today.
Absolutely. Anybody else? Okay. I'm rooting for you. I'm on your side. If you want to reach out to me and share anything that you got from this call, any visions that you had, any commitments you're making, any accountability, let me know. We're here to help you. And we're here every single Tuesday. Tell your friends, anybody's invited. It's broker agnostic. Get to the event. If you want an amazing event for the rest of the year to really kick off your 2026, it's just a little over 6 weeks away. Plenty of time to plan. Go to cabo26.com, CABO26.com. It's an all-inclusive five-star resort. 1,100 screaming, raving fans will be there. Once you check in, you have nothing else to buy. Alcohol, food, everything's provided for you in 3 days of events. It's amazing. Check it out. I hope to see you there. I'm actually speaking this year. I'd love you to come up and say, Randy, I heard you on the coaching call. I'm here because of you. That would make my day. All right, you guys, have a great day. I appreciate you. See you next week. Peace for now. Talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, Randy. Appreciate
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Bye-bye.